Welcome to a new Scary Tuesday, Tiktakers. Today we bring you a controversial creepypasta. It has been requested by many, but for others it is one of the worst stories in the killer universe. Do you know why? Do you stay until the end and tell us your impressions? Guadalupe Elizabeth was a 13-year-old teenager. Her childhood was hard because her parents had been murdered, and not by any criminal, but by Jeff the Killer himself. She could clearly remember the go-to-sleep stain on the wall and how the killer had finished with the bodies of her parents. However, against all odds, she began to admire and love that murderer. After that event, she was adopted by her maternal uncles. She had a strong obsession with everything related to Jeff or Nina. She wanted to meet them. She felt that she would fit in very well with them and that they would be great friends, because at school she wasn't able to maintain any friendships. Her classmates humiliated her and laughed at her. Although there was one exception, Emmeline, who sometimes pretended to be her friend, only to end up hurting or embarrassing her. However, thanks to this, she met Ben, Emmeline's little brother. He was the closest to having a friend she possessed. For this reason, Guadalupe put up with the bully to be closer to her best friend, although this brought her serious problems. Emmeline's evil went one step farther when she began to organize a macabre plan to annoy the young woman. Knowing her huge fanaticism for Jeff the Killer creepypasta, she told her that the classmates would give her a big birthday surprise at their house, and that for one day she could become their admired Jeff. Guadalupe didn't know what to answer. No one had ever made such a special surprise for her, so she waited excitedly for the day to arrive. She told Ben everything, and he was surprised that his sister was so kind, but he didn't want to take away the illusion that Emmeline was finally trying to be nice to her. Guadalupe's birthday arrived, and with a big smile, she appeared at Emmeline's and Ben's house. There were several classmates who had never spoken to her, but they were all there to celebrate her party in a special way. At one point, the children told Guadalupe that they would start a game. She sat in a chair, waiting to learn the rules. Meanwhile, Ben could see how his sister appeared behind the young woman with a can of gasoline that they had in the garage. Guadalupe turned around and only had time to see how Emmeline emptied the jerry can on her while saying, "Welcome, Jeff the Killer." Guadalupe's face changed when she felt the smell of gasoline on her body and saw how Emmeline, with a mischievous face, threw a lit match at her while the children walked away. Ben ran to help his friend while yelling and alerting his parents, who quickly appeared in the room and put out the flames. He quickly took the young woman to the hospital. She had serious burns and had passed out. When she woke up, she saw that her body was covered in bandages and she was in a lot of pain. She couldn't believe where Emmeline had come to. She hated her with all her might. She wanted to finish her off. After a period of recovery, the doctors removed the bandage and she was able to see how her body and face had been disfigured by the fire. Both Ben and her uncles tried to reassure her by telling her that she was as pretty as ever, but Guadalupe knew that this was a lie. One day before leaving the hospital, the nurse gave her a package in her name from an anonymous sender. She opened it and discovered a mask and a note. It was from Jane the Killer. She encouraged her to carry out her revenge and to end all those who had made her suffer. Guadalupe didn't know if all of this was a joke, but that note had deeply marked her. The next day, her aunt brought her a purple jacket and slippers and a black skirt and stockings. They were her favorite colors. To make her feel more comfortable with her appearance, she took her to a hairdresser so they could cut her hair, because part of it had been sinked in the fire. Guadalupe took advantage of the occasion and asked the hairdressers to dye a lock of hair purple. When she got home, she lay on her bed and wondered why all her classmates had acted so hateful towards her. Then she made the decision to take revenge. She would make each of the children at that party pay for what they had done to her. One by one, the youths were killed. No one seemed to have any clues to the perpetrator of the crimes. Guadalupe had become IZA the Killer. Madness invaded her, and with a knife, she cut her mouth at both corners. Then, with a needle and thread, she sewed the opening at the ends, revealing a creepy smile. She laughed and cried as she pierced the skin with the thread. Alerted by the noises, her aunt went into the bathroom to see what she was doing and screamed in horror. IZA asked her if she looked beautiful, but her aunt could only shake her head from side to side in denial. IZA showed pity that her aunt didn't think the same way, and without giving it much thought, she grabbed the scissors and plunged them into her chest. She licked the blood off the gun, then headed over to Amalin and Ben's house. She crept through the window and discovered Amalin watching television. The young woman didn't have time to ask for help. In seconds, IZA massacred her by stabbing her in the belly several times with a knife. When she ran out of the house, she was met by a girl in a white mask who stopped her. She was Jane the killer. From that moment, Jane would become her mentor. This video has been sponsored by you, Tiktaker. If you want to help us so that we can continue creating content, you can become a member of the channel by becoming a Tiktaker at heart. Although you shouldn't feel obligated to make this contribution. You can also help us continue to grow by commenting, giving us your likes, and sharing our videos to continue increasing this community. In this way, we will ensure that our content continues to be free for everyone. Thanks for the support. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!